nearest hillside, which just illustrates how far embers can go and be blown in this intense windstorm that we are experiencing this morning. And it is particularly tragic that the homeowners in this community probably never thought that they would be in danger of such a massive windstorm and fire event that would destroy their homes. You can see here, there is really no, this is at least, I'm looking at the map, this is at least a good 500 to 1,000 feet, maybe more, from the fire of where it would be in the hills above Altadena in the Hastings Ranch area. So it's really an illustration of just how far these embers are blowing and the problems that elements of both the LA County Fire Department and the Pasadena Fire Department have when they're fighting this fire. Now, earlier we had heard from Margaret Scott from LA City Fire, and what they do with structure protection, all fire departments follow this general rule, is that it's kind of the reverse of what you would think about when you're dealing with, say, a mass casualty incident where many people are injured. You would want to triage or treat the most critically injured first in order to save their lives. In some ways, it's the reverse when doing structure protection for homes. If you see a building, a firefighting team sees a building that is critically damaged, that is burning almost beyond saving, they will abandon it and move to a building that possibly isn't damaged yet or has a likelihood of being saved. So earlier this morning, we had seen live shots with Amanda of fire trucks driving by burning homes, not stopping to fight them because they're beyond saving. And fire crews, they need to work on the structures that they can save that aren't being affected immediately by embers getting under the eaves and into the attic. Because once that happens, the damage to that home is so severe, it's unlikely that the family that lives there will be able to return, or possibly they'll lose that house completely. So the job of the LA County Fire and Pasadena Fire Department right now is to save the homes that they can, being that there is no aerial attack available right now due to the darkness and wind. Now, if you come out to my screen, I'm going to show you how expansive the Eaton Fire evacuation warnings and orders are. What we're looking at here is the central ignition point of the Eaton fire. It started about 6:30 last night. Now, we don't have that big orange footprint that we can see on the CAL FIRE map for the Palisades fire because the aircraft that does that intelligence gathering, it's codenamed Intel 12, it flies out of Sacramento. It hasn't been down here yet this morning to get a good look at where the Eaton fire is burning. Now, when it does arrive on station, it's going to circle like this and get that good fire footprint, but we believe that it is probably burning in this area. Now, if I zoom into the Hastings Ranch area where Amanda Sorrentino was, I'm going to illustrate what I was talking about. She was essentially in this neighborhood, and you can see how far and how many homes exist between the hillside and the homes that were burning where she was at. The only indication that we can imagine is that this fire was burning all along this area here into this vegetative area down here towards the Eaton Canyon golf course, and that embers have blown into this neighborhood, and an untold number of homes all along here are now destroyed. It's incredibly tragic for this community and certainly a problem for the rest of the areas that are being impacted by the Eaton fire. You can see how far these evacuation zones, we are looking at evacuation warnings all the way into the Montrose area and evacuation orders through La Cañada Flint Ridge, including a JPL, the Jet Propulsion Laboratory that's in La Cañada Flint Ridge. That's currently under an evacuation order as well. It's right there. So you can see that the Eaton fire has certainly become a priority for firefighters, as well as the Palisades fire. We can take a quick look at that one as well. You can see here as it burns this one, we have the fire footprint. Hasn't been updated since about midnight, but I want to tell you about a live camera that I haven't been able to access until just now. It's right about here. You can see it's quite far from the last reported fire line, but I'm going to show you something from Hellspot 69, which is a airborne refueling and water refueling center for LA County Fire. This is the south-facing camera for Hellspot 69, and that is at least 5 to 6 miles from the last reported fire line for the Palisades fire. You can see the fire is here. It is in the hills up by Hellspot 69 where I've circled. These are, it's dark, but you can see these are called the pumpkins. We're going to see Chinooks, if they fly today, refuel using these tanks that are right there. They autofill and provide 8,000 gallons of water to water-dropping helicopters. And even to the west, We can see fire now burning. That's down towards where Luz Delia Caballero was. And let me just remind you where this is. What the camera that we were looking at is here. So we know that there's fire all along here down into this area. So I'll tell you, Rube and Jamie, when the Intel 12 Beechcraft Super King aircraft gets into the air and starts surveying this fire damage, we're going to see a significant expansion of this fire footprint here. And when that aircraft is overhead, we don't know. And also, when the water-dropping aircraft are able to fly, we also don't know, hopefully after the sun comes up.
Yeah, we are so dependent normally with these wildfires on airdrops to assist firefighters. We saw in Amanda's live shot there, people as far as the Bay Area, crews coming down to help battle those flames, but they're going to get tired.
Well, the other thing is, I think, as you said, we have become so dependent. I think in many of these storms, we just initially the planes get up and it's very scary for a short period of time. This just keeps going and going and going and going this morning.
And the winds,
No
we're
relief.
still in the heart of this windy period
At least
right
3
now.
hours until we get even just a little bit of relief.
Yeah, so we want to talk about that Jewish temple we were just talking about in Pasadena.
It was gutted by flames. It's been around since 1921. You think about the history in our area that's being lost.